I made the request, so I need to get a motion for the for approval of the minutes from the executive session. What was your question?
Still go forward with other items on the agenda. Motion failed just in the minutes. So that means the rest of the agenda is valid. You still vote on the rest of the items on the agenda. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of executive session.
Excuse me, that's not on the agenda.
Yeah, sign this one.
That's it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Roll call. Clerk.
No.
You already know that.
That's it. We didn't approve the minute or anything. We can't move forward without completely approving the minute.
No.
As we said. Now.
Yes. That's why I'm making
Both y'all. I don't care who started. Helping you out again, somebody's being sorted out. Sorry.
Councilman Eady raised the question that the meeting could not go forward because of the no approval of the minutes. We cited a reference in the city charter. I'm sorry, what section of it? City charter?
Section 3. No, he got it.
What are you doing with it?
We cited a section of the city charter of voting and say it takes 4 affirmative votes in order to approve anything on the city council. And there wasn't 4 votes, but that part of the charter did not require you to stop the whole meeting because the minutes were approved. It just said affirmative vote before council members required in order to approve those things. So the agenda can still go forward, and you can still proceed on the other items of the agenda.
Go in.
Exactly.
I've never been told that. We was always under the impression everything
Some
had to
charter.
be approved before you can move forward.
It's just like any motion. If you have a motion, like last time we had a motion to approve the engagement letter of Mr. Basket, that failed, but we continue to go on with the rest of the meeting. Same thing
Different
here.
than the minutes.
The minutes, if you didn't approve the minutes from the last meeting and it failed, that doesn't mean the whole meeting of this session is not able to go forward.
That's what you're going to say.
That is
I'm gonna go on what you're saying right now. Okay?
That's what he said.
Next, we'll move to old business. And we have the audit discussion. And will, Mr. Basket, would you please come forward? Thank you.
Supposed to speak.
Go ahead.
First off, I guess, y'all know me, I'm the person that's brought in to do the forensic audit. 6 months going on now. Haven't gotten through getting my engagement letter approved, believe it or not. I'm trying to find out, sure, I'll let you know, I watched the YouTube video that was done 2 weeks ago, so I saw what was said, heard a lot of it, some of it I couldn't make sure what it was being said, so I wanted to clear some of that up. First off, I want to make sure whether or not my engagement letter has been approved by the attorney. Mr. Jones, did you approve my engagement letter?
I looked at the engagement that I don't have any objections to it.
You have no objections, okay.
And during the last council meeting, it was stated that at the time you submitted your engagement letter in February, Mr. Boone was the senior attorney. He would ask whether he had a chance to look over it. He indicated that he did look over it once he received it. It took him a while to get it. But after he looked over it, he said he had no objection to it either.
So I can assume then that the council accepts the fact that my engagement letter has been approved by the attorney. Okay. You know,
Go ahead.
You never gave it to me, Mr. Banks.
you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I remember I sent you a letter and
how did I respond to you on that letter?
You refused to produce it and said I had to go see the mayor, which is violating local record.
Is that what I told you? You had to go see the mayor?
Yes.
No,
You
that's
said
not
I
what I said.
suggest.
Let me pass out exactly what was reflected to everybody.
I'm trying to get a copy of it just for that reason. So
I will give you a copy. You already have a copy, but I'll give you another copy.
I didn't at the time. You didn't get it.
It's correct. You sent me an email. I'll let everybody get it first. Seriously. Can somebody get one?
Well, I took one. Let's see what, oh, here's
I'd like just doing that. Anyway, you sent me an email and you asked me for a copy of my engagement letter. And my response was, it was best to get it from the mayor. I did not deny it to you. I did not say you could not have it. I was not obstructing you from getting it. I said it was best for you to get it from the mayor. And there's a reason for that. I was in there doing my audit. I'm being paid by the hour to do it. According to the billing rates around here, it's probably fairly high. In Atlanta, actually it's not that high. I brought my rates down for the local area. The mayor, Tawana, and Heather are all civil servants. They work for their salaries, and to get it from them would cost very little. To get it to me, I would have to go try to get a copy of it and try to find where to get it to you. So that's why I said it would be best to get it from the mayor. That is the best thing to do. I don't know why you have a problem with that, but you did.
Well, the problem, Mr. Paskett, is that the Open Records Act doesn't allow you to pass an open records request off to somebody else. Because as a contractor with the city of Gordon, you yourself are subject to the Open Records Act. Passing it on to the mayor or anybody else is not provided for in the Open Records Act. The fact that you did not provide the document or provide an exemption for not providing the document, and say passing it on to the mayor is not a permitted exemption. You were required to furnish the document whether it cost something or not. And you also could provide me with the cost of doing that, and I would have had to pay that if it was a cost to the city. You didn't do any of that.
I didn't know that needed to be done. I did what I thought was the most efficient thing to do. I was not trying to obstruct anything. I was not trying to deny you from it. I did what I thought was the best thing to do at the time, and you made a big deal out of it 2 weeks ago.
I didn't make a big deal out of it.
Yes, you did,
I'm just saying you violated the law by not responding and providing.
You said,
simple as that.
You refused to cough it up. I think it's the words you used. You made very, I think those kind of disparaging words to me. I didn't appreciate you making those kind of statements, but that's the way you do business, and that's fine.
I didn't appreciate you violating the law on behalf of the city of Gordon either, but you did.
Here again, sir, I don't know all your laws. I did what I thought was the best thing to do at the time. So,
well, I think it's incumbent on you when you get an open records request. If you don't know, you need to find out because it's pretty serious business.
here again, sir, I did
There are
not
criminal
know that.
violations if you don't comply.
And a week later, your associate came to visit us again. I did not have a copy of it. I had taken it home, put it in my files, I hadn't scanned it yet, so I didn't have a copy of it. I said, he could have walked down 2 steps and got it from the mayor. But here again, you want to make a big deal out of it to make me look bad in front of the council and against the city. So if you want to act that way, I think that's a very childish way for you to be, but that's fine.
I don't think violating open records act is actually childish.
Sir, here again, I've already explained that to you. Do you need to explain again? So we'll move on.
You did explain it again.
No, I understand what it is now. If 6 months ago, if I'd been told that it was a violation of me not to do that, then I would have done it. I had no idea.
Excuse me, counsel, would you have a seat and we need to move on?
Well, not as long as he's making allegations.
Attorney, please have a seat,
Now,
or I will have to silence you.
let's say one other thing. because
Counsel, please have a seat.
If Mr. Baskett wants to
Counsel,
do that, he could have been subjected to sanctions, and I could have done that, but I didn't.
Okay.
I tried to work with you.
right, thank you. Move forward.
Anyway, I managed to get in there. I was in there for about 2.5 weeks before finally I was told that I'm not going to get paid. Okay, so I left and actually did continue to still work on the audit while I was down there. It was very expensive for me to be up here 8, 10 hours, actually 12 hours a day working on this thing. So the more efficient and effective thing for me to do was to do what I could do out of Atlanta, and that's what I did. There's a lot of people sending me information. There's a lot of document requests that I had already initiated, and that was coming in, so I was working on it. I was working with Mr. Reese a good bit. He was sending me a lot of information. Each one in their office was sending me a lot of information. I was getting information from third parties, from the bank and from some other places. So I continued working on this thing, even though it was on a lot smaller, not near as many hours as it was when I was up here before. But the other thing I was a little bit surprised at in your voting is to, well, first of all, let me talk. Can I address individually? Terry, did you have a problem with my engagement letter?
Who?
Terry, sorry, Terry Reese.
No, sir.
You're fine with it?
No, sir. Fine.
Barbara, are you? You're fine with it. Has everybody had a chance to read it now?
They were given.
Okay, Terry, Mr. Eady, have you had a chance to read
I
it?
certainly have, yes, sir. I have read it. But the thing about it all was that everything is post-dated before anything was ever accepted legally. You see what I'm
What do you
saying?
mean post? No, I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean by post-dated?
This right here, that was signed by you, the mayor, is dated 2/16.
It's 2/19.
I may have made a mistake.
Mayor,
I'm not
Jane, I wrote the letter, the date that I wrote the letter, the engagement letter, is my date. The mayor signed it on the date that she signed it on. And she wrote down the date that she signed it, so it's effective the date that the mayor signed it, which is, what, I think it's 2/19 or 2/17?
219 is.
2/19. So what is your question? Okay,
It
any other
has not been
questions?
voted on. It has never been voted on.
It was voted on 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it was voted on 2 weeks ago.
And what happened?
You abstained.
And
And why did you abstain? I'd like to know.
because I am not satisfied with the way you have been carrying this audit forward. There's too many discrepancies and too many things that I don't know. You have left a lot of this council out of the picture. You have purposely talked with a few people, like Mr. Reese, maybe the mayor, but you have never asked me any questions that I might help you with. You have kept me in the dark. Okay? I've talked with you. We've had conversations.
Yes, we have had conversations.
We have.
I have had conversations with you, so what
Yes,
are you
sir.
asking me?
And I told you then, until everything was legal, that everything you had done was not up to par, because it was not legally voted on. And it still has not been voted in. An abstention is a no vote. Doesn't count, one way or the other. 3 yeses, 2 noes, and an abstention, or 2 abstentions and a no and 3 yeses does not pass a motion at this table. It takes 4 yes votes. Always 4 yes votes.
Okay. So,
Okay?
so the last, or 2 weeks ago, you abstained.
Yes, sir.
And why did you abstain?
Because I just told you, everything is not legal. I can't go any further than that. That is exactly the reason. It is not legal what we have done and what you have done up to this point.
I have to.
Please.
Terry?
I have a problem with this because it's not legal. I'm very ticked off. Why did we let him work here 13 days? Why didn't somebody interrupt and say, stop this, we're not going to do it no more? You don't let somebody work 13 days. I don't let you cut 2 acres of my grass and tell you I don't need you.
Amen.
Now, if it was illegal, he should have been stopped from the start. Now, I'm going to force my 2 cents while I got this opportunity. I kept my mouth shut. There are a lot of discrepancies with this city money. Not what you say, but what I've seen and reading those reports. We talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars apparently misappropriated or not counted for. We need some answers. I don't think he's leaving you out, Mr. Eady. It's no different when Right and Right do an audit. Right and Right never told us what went on in the audit. We sat at this table and the mayor presented what was going on. But then they met and discussed whatever. And I asked to assist or work with Mr. Bassett because I was familiar with a lot of the things, a lot of the people, a lot of the contractors, by names and stuff which he would not know. And he has had resistance from day one. The first day he came in here to do this audit, we sat over there all day and could not do the audit when they met over here with the EEOC and the attorneys. Now, one attorney, when the mayor come back, he didn't get any information. He was here to do that audit. And the only way he got information then, there was some EEOC attorneys that went in when Mr. Bassett asked to get a copy of the files on her computer. She didn't know how to unload them or download them to his disk. One of the EEOC attorneys said that's no problem. Ever since he got that, Mr. Boone has been contending that he has tampered with the files, he has done things inappropriately. There's some stuff on those files I wish we could print for everybody to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there are things going on here that need to be addressed by the audit.
And I can't.
Attorney,
I'm
just
not
have
gonna
a
stand
seat.
here and let him make accusations.
Attorney, if you can't sit, then you need to exit.
Are you gonna let him speak and not me?
Yes, he's a council member and you're not.
He's allowed under the law to defend himself in
no,
case
but not at this meeting.
He's not even working. He's not
You're out
gonna
of
sit
order. Chief, I need you to come. If y'all can't retain yourself, you need to exit.
Well, then you
This
need
is
to-
according to the
you need to
law.
you need to,
He's, attorney, please have a seat.
no, but he's not shielded from
Attorney.
slander law by telling stories.
My name has been slandered, so have a seat. Amen. My name has been slandered in all of this. Now, y'all don't want me to get started. Resume. Resume.
I was. There were blockades put in front of me in getting those
Go ahead and go,
files.
Bill.
I could not, I'm sorry. You would not let me, you did not want me to have those QuickBooks files.
That is not true, Mr. Baskett. Let me explain why.
Attorney, well, you need to have a,
Look, let me
you're not gonna riff-raff here. Okay, go ahead.
He's gonna stand there and lie about me. That's another story, Mayor.
Attorney, You and I in the same boat. These are lies about me too. I feel
Well,
you.
you got a
I
public
feel
forum
you.
to address it, I don't.
Excuse me.
I said, you have a public forum here with a gavel to address it, I don't.
Well, you
So
take
Mr.
it to
Bassett's
court.
gonna stand there and lie about it?
Take it to court. Do just like me. They taking me. You all taking me, so take yours to court. Let's
Well,
have it
Mr.
right there.
Richardson sitting back
Just have a
there
seat.
can clear up the thing
No,
about
attorney, have a seat. Resume.
It's difficult to get these problems. Okay? There's
Why?
also, why?
Why?
It was said that I could not have them.
Who?
They want, I thought it was,
Wasn't
was it
me.
not you?
Wasn't me.
Well, somebody was not letting me have it. They didn't want me to have it.
I didn't care.
I can't doubt that, but I also put in a request to get canceled checks. You're in a meeting, who are in the meeting when I sent in to say, Tawana, I want a list of all these checks, and she had to sign off on it for me to get access to get them. Okay? Terry, you're in the meeting. What happened when the report came in, or the letter came in there saying, we want to get a copy of all these canceled checks? We have Tawana sign off on it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I wasn't in there, but you told me.
When they went in the mayor's office, I said, we need to whose names on this account to sign where we could get this information from the bank, because if the name is not on the account, they're not going to release the information. She said, well, I'm not going to sign that. And the mayor said, why are you not going to sign it? Sign it. And Mr. Boone, she had to get advice from Mr. Boone to look over it and said, well, Mr. Reese, why don't you sign it? I said, I will sign it. I don't have a problem with it, because I can get it if my name's on the account, but I can't get the one her name's on. Well, I don't understand or whatever, but the bottom line, she did sign it after conferring with Mr. Boone. And that's how we was able to get it. And sometimes we went down there, we didn't get it. And while it's hot on my tongue, we couldn't get from the Morris Bank locally. We had to make a trip to the corporate office in Getto. And I remember very vividly, me and the man, a couple more.
Yes.
One more person with that. Well, we requested some information regarding some stuff you requested for the audit. They let us sit there about an hour and a half. They put us in a room. And she said, I just talked to my attorney. And my attorney said, you need to get your attorney to call me before we can release the file. And we went to lunch, and we stated to her that we'll be back. We're going to go to lunch. We're going to come back and get the file. She said, well, my attorney said, you need to get y'all attorney, Joey, to call us before we can release the file. And that's kind of roadblock that we've been having trying to get information.
So it's one thing after another. So it's
Yes.
made everything difficult, made everything last longer than it should have.
Exactly.
But things finally started coming in, trickling in, through your open records request. They've been sent to the council members, and council members sent to me and asked me to go research this, research that. So I've been working on this based on requests from council members to do some investigation type work. And I've been moving on with it a little bit. This here again has not been full-time. I haven't worked on it that much until recently, but I went for several months without doing hardly anything. But anyway, it just, are you comfortable enough now with this, my engagement letter to vote yes or no on, Mr. Are you going to abstain again?
Where are you going with this?
I just want to know.
You don't force the motion on
No, I
us
don't.
or anything, If you want to tell us something right now, this is your opportunity right now to move forward. Continue to tell us what you see, what you found, if you want to.
There's limited what I want to say in detail, and I've told you that several times in the past. I've talked about treasures and monies that don't make sense. I'm trying to get all sides of the entries. I can't get them unless I come down here and look at them. $25,000 movements, $50,000 movements, $200,000 movements of money. I don't know what it's for, and I can't see it because I'm being blocked from getting here to look at it. I told you that before. That things with this, so we have had conversations. You're in my hearing. I talked about some of these things too. So you can't say you haven't heard these things. And then when the vote comes up, you abstain like you haven't heard anything. And I don't understand that at all.
I do not trust what you're doing, Mr. Basket. I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to hear my honest to God answer, that is why.
So then
You have worked with the mayor and her personal attorney during that hearing. You have been in contact with Mr. Jones and Mr. Kendall on several occasions, So why would I think you got the city's interest at best? It sounds to me like you're trying to just get to the point where you can do something to get your money. Okay? I don't think you got the city's interest at the best heart. You just said you were taking instructions from certain council members on stuff they was asking you to look for. You know? Now, if you are an auditor, a forensic auditor, and you come in to do your job, you should know the things that you're going to look for. You know, you should. You should be telling us what you're going to look at, not what Mr. Reese wants you to look at or somebody else. You understand that?
Yeah, I understand that. Do you understand I was doing both? I was getting information from them. I had to come in and talk to the people that are working here. I talked to Twan, I talked to people behind the desk. I talked to various different council members to find out what they think are the hot issues. Where are things to look at?
Yes,
so I was using their information for me to do my investigation, in addition to all the procedures that I had already come in to do, which I was working on, which I'm now still being blocked from completing.
When you and I had the only conversation face to face next door, when you came down, that only time that I talked to you, you told me some of the things that you were saying, that you needed somebody to help you find these different things. And I said the best one to help you with that information would be the city clerk treasurer, Ms. Brown. And you told me that's probably who I need to talk to, but they won't let me talk to her. And I asked you who wouldn't let you talk to her. And what did you tell me?
I don't recall the
Okay.
But have I talked to you about several things with this project?
I have, but I've already given you some of this information you said you don't have.
Which information?
That 25,000, the 50,000, that was all Georgia Fund 1 transfers. You've already got that whole packet.
No, I don't.
gave it to you twice.
I don't have the whole packet. What I don't have is the check attached to the deposit
And I
slip.
sent a copy to you and to Councilman Reese.
What I don't have, and I still don't have, is the check that was attached to the back of the deposit slip. That's what I've been given what they want, what you want me to see, but I haven't got to see what I want to see. And there's a big difference. There's a big difference there. Because there are checks that are deposited that I don't have not to see. And I've asked for them time and time again. I'm not getting them.
We have given you everything that you've asked for. And some of it
I don't have the copies.
I gave it
I don't
to you,
have
you said I
copies.
don't have it. And I had documented where I gave you the copies.
I don't have
I've got it on
copies.
file.
I don't have copies of the checks that are attached to the deposit slips for these large transfers. I do not have them. Okay, simple as that. I don't have
Everything
them.
you asked for. He gives it to me in writing so I can make sure I'm looking at what he
I think it's
wants.
been requested to you in writing several times.
By maybe other people.
It's been requested to you. Okay. So you don't trust me, is that right, Mr. Eady? You have
The
suspicions
way
about
things have
me.
been going, no, sir. I don't put a lot of confidence in the job that you have done up to this point. No, sir, I certainly don't.
Have you ever stolen from the city?
No, sir. I do not steal. I do not
Just
steal.
ask the question. Ask the question. Why don't you pass this down to everybody?
Please.
I know it's a shocking question, and I apologize I had to ask it this. So, this is an expense report, Mr. Eady. Let me question for you. What is the policy, city policy on when one of the councilmen go out the town on an education trip or conference? What's the policy about meals?
They turn and receive with payment.
For how many?
They do, at the convention, we do allow them to pay for their spouses and their children, grandchildren. They have been doing this for years and years. It is allowed.
Ms. Toles, what was told to you when you went on the conference about policy?
I was told that you only pay for you and your spouse, you can take sister, brother, children, or grandchildren.
So we got a
And
conflict
that's
of
what I was
story.
told because I asked the question.
You asked the question
Yes,
before you
I
went?
did. Yes, I did.
And what did you tell her when she asked you the question?
I'm not on trial here, Mr. Baxter.
I just asked you a question.
If you have
But you-
anything else to ask,
you
you
got-
can ask my lawyer.
Hush.
So what is the official policy for the city?
It has always been family. Whoever your family is, whoever goes with you. Mr. Freeze can back up several years ago when he had children and people he cared with him. Mr. Freddie Dinsley, if he was here, he would tell you the same thing. Everybody that goes is covered under
That's a good idea. Let's ask each councilman what they think the policy is.
We're gonna roll call.
Please be quiet.
We did take the family, and I did take my little girl. But I have been in several years now, so I don't know what's going on. But the bottom line is, when the mayor personally asked me, say, when we go on these education trips, are we allowed to take family? I said, well, we used to, because me and my wife and daughter would go. And that's the only child I take, because that's the only child I had. And we stayed in the same room. There was no extra room or any stuff like that.
It's not talking about hotels or the conference costs and all that. I'm talking about the meal policy. Now, it sounds to me I'm hearing two different stories, but I want to hear, I did my analysis based on.
Well, back then we did pay for meals, because my daughter did eat. She was about 5,
So you
6,
paid out
7
of your
years
pocket
old.
for your
No,
daughter?
I did.
Okay. Dorita, what is your understanding? Your spouse and yourself. And that's what you said. And Mr. Smallwood, what did you think it was?
What Terry said, Terry.
Well, that's the case, but that's not the way I understood it. So
You didn't ask the right people. There you go again. If you had asked the right people rather than be selective in who you talked to, you might have got the right answer.
Well, he hadn't asked me anything, so I'm just hearing this for the first time, and that's true. And I was told that it was.
okay. This is something that was brought up to my attention after I'm kind of pushed out of this place to research this, and with what was told me. So I did what I did based on what I was advised to do. Okay.
And you think that is a fair assessment of doing forensic stuff? Picking up on just something like this?
No, I would like to have been brought in and accepted to do this, but I'm right now working as best I can with the instructions I have of getting in here to allow to finish this job.
By who?
By who?
Yes, by who?
Whoever abstains when they vote on this thing is instructing me. So you tell me.
You talked about the hearing, and did I hear anything that you said or not? I heard you tell in that courtroom that day that there was $37,000 some odd dollars wrote to Georgia Power that Georgia Power said they did not receive. We came back and we found every check from Georgia Power, and they added up to $37,000 whatever few dollars. So now, did you perjure yourself on that stand that day?
No, that's the information I had at the time. I'm still trying to get information from Georgia Power to verify that, yes or no. So I did not perjure myself. I was given a copy of what was supposed to be all of the meters, all the accounts for the city of Gordon had with Georgia Power. I compared that to the payments, and I came up $37,000 short. So with the information I had, that's what I did.
And you think somebody took the money? You said
I
somebody else may have
didn't
got the
say
money.
that, sir. I said that there's $37,000 short.
Somebody may have got the money.
Excuse me.
I said it was $37,000 short. I don't know what that means. I need to reconcile. I need to continue working on it to be able to make a determination whether that's actually was gone or not. Okay.
One other thing in that hearing that day, did you or not say you have not worked on the audit in a long time because you have not been paid? Did you not make that statement that day?
At that time I did.
Okay. The week before we had that hearing, did you and Mr. Reese or not call the county commissioner's office and talk to a Mrs. Judy Brown on a phone conference and ask
Yes, we did.
them?
We had a meeting.
Okay. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Okay.
So that was the first time that I worked on this audit since back in May.
But you said you
And
had
they-
not worked on it.
I said I hadn't worked on it much. I hadn't. You go back and look at my timesheet. I have time back in way early in the first couple of days in May, hadn't done anything until the weekend. They called me up, Mr. Reese and Mr. Jones called me up and wanted to come meet in Monticello. So they had some information they wanted me to look at. So I went down there to look at it. It's the first thing I had done in it, and figured it must maybe 2.5 months. Is that fair enough?
What I heard, you said you had not worked on it at all. You said, I have not worked on it because I have not been paid. That was the statement I heard. I bet you I will always probably got the
I don't recall saying that.
Okay.
I really don't recall exactly how I put it, but I had not worked on it until then. Okay. Well, so I got another finding that was brought to my attention that I want to bring out. Okay. And that's a little thing got to do with the alcohol beverage tax. Let me pass this out.
You don't think people make errors?
I'm sorry?
You don't think people make errors on those sometimes? I've already picked up that, and I've already called the auditors right and right, and their lady, Miss Patricia, made an entry error on that. Call them and ask them. $1,430,000 when it's supposed to be $21,000. It's a one-line item error. Okay? And it's a revenue. Showing as a revenue, it's not a paid up. That $21,000 is what it's supposed to be.
Okay, you made an entry of $1.4 million. That was a credit to alcohol and beverage tax. What was the other side of the entry?
$1,434,000.
What's the other side?
That added together, you know, subtract 21 from, that's what it goes to.
What is the other side of the entry? It's a double entry accounting system. You have a credit to the revenue account. What's the debit?
It's a plus, 1434.
Yes, that's the credit. What's the debit? And to what account?
It's under alcohol beverage tax.
That's the credit. What's the debit?
Look, they're both the same. There's no debit. It says over budget or under actual budget is all it says.
You're not an accountant, right?
No, sir, I'm not an accountant.
Hush!
Tell me the number that you're looking at or what you want to say.
Okay. The other side of the when you make in accounting systems, you have it's a double entry system. If you make an entry, credit the franchise tax, the alcohol beverage tax, you have to have a debit offset the balance of the books. Okay? So you credit the alcohol beverage tax, you debit something else. That's what is the debit? What's the debit you think?
I did not make this entry. This is a year-end audit adjustment from last year.
So you don't know the other
She
side.
has sent me a correction today. She said she put the wrong account. I have to correct it, and I will get paid for it under the circumstances.
I'll tell you what the other side of the entry was. You made an entry to the fixed assets for $1.4 million. I don't understand why you would do something like that. Or why any, okay, well, who else puts information into the QuickBooks files?
I'm not supposed to be talking.
You're not supposed to be talking.
I'm not supposed to be talking.
I don't understand that either.
But I like was glad to explain to you.
Well, I hate to say that right was wrong this time because that was not a proper. The entry makes no sense. $1.4 million fixed assets, $1.4 million credit to the alcohol beverage tax. The entry made no sense. Okay? That was brought to my attention, and so I'm bringing it up now. Okay, you say you want to hear examples of things.
I found that myself. I look over these numbers every month. Ask Miss Brown, didn't I call her and ask her the same question? Where and why? And she told me that it was an error on Ms. Right that comes down for.
But you didn't know what the other side of the entry was.
Yes, ma'am.
I was saying, Councilman Reese, you didn't see that?
What?
This is what they're discussing. I'm
Yeah, I
just
think.
as a
I mean,
chair.
it stands out. I mean, it's hard to miss it.
Well, I have a problem with all of a sudden, therefore, you got passed out, let me say. The old saying was, where's the money, man?
Right.
As soon as you go out, the sign on the thing says the money's in the bank. It slipped in through the back door.
Oh.
That's how I got in the bank. 1.4 million.
That money's not there.
If that money's not there, then all these figures, this is money on paper.
That's all
A
that
lot of this is money on paper.
Uh-huh.
We need an audit to see exactly where we stand in liquid asset and everything else.
Exactly.
Because we don't know.
I want a clean slate, that's all.
The entry made no sense to me. I went and looked at the, if you get revenue in from the alcohol beverage tax, it goes through the general fund. I went to look in the general fund to see if there was a deposit for anywhere near that kind of money. No, there's no deposit for money. It's just a flat journal entry for whatever reason. I had no idea. And you want to see examples of things, so I brought up an example of things. You know, I don't know what it is.
It didn't surprise me. I saw it. You didn't surprise me with it. I already knew it. And I'd already questioned the right people to find out the right answer.
I wish I could come up with
right
something.
and right.
I wish I could come up with something you're not surprised about at this point in time, but the things I'm seeing, I still haven't.
Be very careful where you go with your statements. I'm not going to put up with it if you continue to make accusations, okay?
Question, attorney. I'm sorry, counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman. Now, to attest to this, can you explain to me that you got on the witness stand accordingly and said that I, the mayor, is bankrupting the city by stealing grant money and all bankrupting the city, so
No, ma'am.
I can
never
agree.
said that. Read the transcript. You will not see where Terry Eady said that.
The mayor's bankrupt the city, so all of a sudden, the money's gone. Where's the money? Now you put the sign out there, we're happy, happy, happy. The money's back in the bank. I want to know which door did it come in to.
This is the council meeting, not all this.
Are y'all really using type signs in town?
Shirley,
The next outburst, we will have.
They didn't have an outburst the whole night.
y'all be quiet. Everybody be quiet.
That's enough, man.
As I said, the money's back, so we're happy, happy, happy. Show us how it got back. Auditor.
I can't show you how I got back. I can't get back in and look. So I don't know. You know, I've been removed from looking at this stuff. I just get things sent to me from time to time to say, look at this. This looks funny to me. That's the best I can do at this point. I still have my list of things that I want to go investigate. The transfers of monies, the investigation in certain accounts. I really don't want to go into a whole lot of detail of the things I want to do because I don't want to give away the things I'm looking at. Because they could be changed and altered and purged. I don't need that to happen to make my audit even tougher. Does that not make sense?
Yes, sir.
I can't explain everything I'm going to do as I go through it. When I finish it, I'll give you a full report of everything that I see and the funny transactions that happen. That's what I'll give you.
Okay.
And I'm doing this in the best interest of the city. Okay? I wish you would just accept that. If you don't accept that, then when it comes up to vote no. Okay? Vote no. I want you to have all the information you need to be able to vote yes or no. I'd rather you vote yes, but if you want to vote no, vote no.
Keep moving forward.
Okay? Is that clear enough? That's...
Bill, let me ask you a question. On those QuickBooks in the year 2009, in August of 2009, there was $2 million moved from Georgia Farm 1 that went to Magnolia Bank to purchase the CD.
Quiet, please.
During that same time period, that year, there was a $2 million adjustment on the QuickBooks. Why was there a $2 million adjustment on the QuickBooks?
I don't know about the QuickBooks.
Mr. One, do you know why there was a $2 million adjustment?
It had to go through the bank. Ask Ms. Morris Bank. She can explain to you. When we moved that CD from Magnolia to Morris Bank, when we got to Morris Bank, she had to run it through the general fund account, some kind of banking transaction. Okay? But that money is actually that $2 million CD that we have now at Morris Bank. It's the same $2 million transfer from place to place.
Okay, but I have a problem with the money was moved from Georgia Transfer 1. We see that in the QuickBooks. We see where the money's moved, and it decreased the amount of money that was in the Georgia Transfer 1 down to $500-something thousand.
No.
Then, yeah, it was $2,500,000 in there until the $2 million was moved. Once the $2 million was moved, that left $563,000 in the Georgia Fund 1. Why, later on down, we got an adjustment in the QuickBooks for the year for $2 million?
That was in another one of those year-end audit adjustments that Right made.
$2 million?
But
What did
that's
we
where it
lose?
went through the bank, and they had to take it, where they had to take it out of general fund.
Now that's something that I feel we need to really look into.
But it's all their document, I found it the other day, about the bank statement, it's all documented. And you call Melissa Morris Bank, she'll verify it.
One of the problems with the George Blunt Fund was it hadn't been reconciled in at least 10 years. Okay. It needed to be looked at. And those, I was looking at the transaction, and those are the transactions I want to follow to see where the money came from and where it went to. You look at all the, where all it went, all the types of the checks to make sure everything's being done the way it's supposed to be done. Okay. It just hasn't been looked at. It's a lot. It started out with $6 million, now it's down to $5,000. I'm not saying, I don't have the same opinion that Terry has about the $2 million. But there's other transactions there I have a problem with. Okay.
When we move those amounts of money, whether you say at 25, 50, or whatever, 75, this council makes a motion at this table to take the money out of the One Georgia Fund, just like Mr. Reese tried to do that night for your $10,000 that hit passed. We did the same thing every time. The minutes would reflect when we voted to take that money and move it. So if you get the minutes and look back into One Georgia Fund, you would see that they would match up, and then the transaction from One Georgia Fund is an automatic transfer. They transfer that money automatically, electronically to the Georgia Bank. I can't remember which account it went in, say the money market fund or the general fund or whatever. But then to get it to the other fund, you have to move it, once it gets to the bank.
I know how it works.
Yeah.
I understand how it works. Right. I just want to see the full transaction. I don't want to just see $25,000 out here, showing up here, then showing up over here. I want to see that when that money moved over here, that was the money moved over here and didn't come in from somewhere else. It was not reported. Okay, I want to see the check to back up the money showed up here. So with the money that came in here, it was not just a check from somewhere else that you didn't record. It should have been recorded as revenue. Okay, that needs to be clarified. That's why I asked for the copy of the deposit slip and the check behind the deposit slip to show me exactly where that money came from. Okay, and I haven't been shown that yet. I've asked for it numerous times. There's also, I hate to reveal everything, but there was a $230,000 transaction that moved money from the general fund into the SPLOST 2007 fund. And it said to refund it. There was no money that ever came out of 2007 fund, SPLOST 2007 went to the general fund that needed to be refunded. But that was the note that was on there. So why is there a note that says refunded, but it was never taken out in the first place? Okay? Don't you think that needs to be looked at? Is there something maybe going on that needs to be investigated?
I'm sure that money and the answer is there if you ask the right people. I might not off the top of my head remember. In the past, we have had 4 or 5 different projects in this city that you have to use SPLOST money for. And sometimes to pay that money, you pay for it in the general fund, and then you take and pay it back with the other money.
Sir,
it can be.
Let me real quick.
Okay.
I don't just want to ask people. I want to see the documents. I'm not going to just take the word of somebody. See, I want to see the actual physical evidence of what's going on.
That document should be there.
I haven't yet received it yet. That's my whole problem.
Sure.
There's a lot of transactions I want to investigate to see that everything is above board. Everything's fine.
Right.
That's it in a nutshell. I've told you that every time we bump into each other.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want to go broadcasting it all over the place, like I've done tonight. But you're pushing me in this position to do this kind of thing, which is kind of silly to me. But that's what we're at. That's where we are.
Okay.
So, Council, go ahead, Council.
If we could get you to finish this audit, do you have a problem with Mr. Eady sitting right off? Sitting in there, and you want to
accompany me.
I didn't think so. So you have no problem with him or any other council member
I didn't
sitting while you complete this audit. Am I correct?
That's correct. Anybody come in that wants to. Mr. Smallwood came in one time. Barb's come in several times. I don't think you came in once? Okay. I don't remember. You never came in.
He never comes.
I didn't
I was
think
never
you needed.
invited.
Well, I don't invite people. They just show up. Okay.
That's right.
It's not an invitation only. It's just I'm in here working, and some people came in
Councilman Eady, I'm sorry. Mr. Baskin, does he have an invitation tonight?
You have an open invitation to come in. Give me a yes vote,
Will you
give me a no vote. I don't,
Certainly, I'll be glad to work with Mr. Basket if we get everything ironed out legally.
well, that's fine. That's the whole point of this thing. That's why we're here to vote on my engagement letter, to get everything legal the way you want it.
All right.
And I want it legal too.
And one other thing, before we go any further, I want to say this one more time too. Your audit is not approved in our budget. You understand that? Do you know what that means? That your money has to be found and a budget amendment made to find where that money's going to come from to pay you. We have never done that. We don't have the money, to pay you. So now we got to back up and try to find a way to find that money to pay you and do a budget amendment. It has to be voted on in order for you to get paid. You understand? I mean,
Well, that's your opinion. I don't know.
that is not an opinion. That is by the state law.
Is
I
that,
can tell you what the budget, finance chair.
We can do that.
But what I'm saying is true, Mr. Reed.
Right, what
Yeah.
you're saying is true. And we can look at some line items and find the money. Because, let me say this to y'all. I think we've dealt in mediocre stuff ever since the mayor been in here. It's time for us to act like grown folk and be the dignified Christian that some of us confess to be. Nobody's pointing fingers saying nobody's a thief, a robber, or a liar. What we're saying is, in business, we're going to be men. And this is the way we're going to operate the business. Let's get this audit complete. Let's get the standing on the city finance where we can do this budget and we can move forward. Because it's too many hindrances going on. It doesn't take this long to do this budget. Let's give Mr. Baskin what he's requested. Let's go ahead and complete this audit so we'll all know what the finances of the city are. We have other things that we need to deal with. And these are precious issues, and we're just not going to go forward until we can get this stuff resolved. We're battling each other, and we're fighting, and this is not good for this council. Now, I would never point fingers at anyone on this council to say, I accuse you of this or that. Now, I will use the word I see as misappropriation. If there were mistakes, then we need to correct them. But there are some things that the auditor needs to look at, and we need to give him that access. And if the thing is, Mr. Eady, that you wasn't invited in, I would be more than happy for you to come. I wish you had come to sit in, because you're very instrumental on this council because of the knowledge and the expertise and the years you put in service. And you and I have never found each other. Mr. Smallwood, same situation. And we got to get back to that. Man, you're new.
Yes.
But she don't know a lot of stuff, y'all. She's trying to learn. Don't get her for being inexperienced. I was director of a computer program firm up there in Macon, and I had to train people, and they thought they were smart. They sent me somebody that dropped out of school in the 9th grade. But you know what? That person turned out to be the best operator we ever had. Why? Because I trained them. And people can't do it. Everybody needs a chance. And the man needs a chance. We need to, when there are things that are not appropriate, sometimes we have to discuss these things behind closed doors and not bring them to this open forum. We got to get some things ironed out, and we got to get on one foot. We got to move forward with this. The lawsuits, the water adjustments, come on, y'all. I mean, we just got to move forward with the city business. We stalled 7, 8 months. It's time to move forward. And I don't think we can move forward until we get Mr. Bassett to come in here. And my prayer is that he don't find anything. But things are questionable. Let's go ahead and erase those questions and move forward.
I do want to point out one more thing. There's a lot of cash that runs through here for the water bills. The people in the city, they pay the bills in cash. Cash is a very risky thing to pay your bills with, because that allows the possibility of easier to steal, because cash is easier to take. Okay? I just want to make, if nothing else ever happens to this whole city, I would just like to tell you people, stop paying your water bills with cash. Write a check. They can't, nobody can steal your check. Not very easily, but they can pocket your cash a lot easier than that. Okay, so just don't do that anymore. There's thousands of dollars being paid that way. Okay? You can pay any way you want to, but I just recommend you don't. And that's really all. I guess I'm trying to think of anything else. I just want to make sure. The thing is, you got to vote yes or no. Abstain vote means you have to give a promise. you have a situation, either, the way I understand, I did some research on this to find out what an abstention vote means. It means you either have a conflict of interest, this is part of everybody, of course. You either have a conflict of interest, or you haven't had the questions answered yet. So I came here to answer your questions. Anything you have, as best I can, I probably revealed too much that I wanted to anyway. But I'm here to answer any questions, so you can either vote yes or no and make a decision on that. Okay? So is there any more questions?
Just one more. The day we was in that hearing, Ms. Taylor Hunt came up to me with your card in her hand, and she told me that the NAM was going to pay your expenses. Has that happened?
No.
Well, she told me they were.
I wish she'd gone through with it.
She said a lot of things that ain't material.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Is she here?
You know.
Is she here? You got a check for me?
I paid for some materials that you needed. I did an open request for some records that you needed, and they have not provided them. And I have called the Attorney General, and he told me by Wednesday, if I don't have them, that we're gonna sue.
Some of the things that she's asking for are those checks, the back of the deposit slips. I have not. She's asked for them. How long ago was that?
I sent a request in July, the 20th. Well, I got an answer back on the 28th. I spoke with Mr. Green, and he said that she was going on a vacation, Ms. Brown, and would be back on the 4th. The assistant clerk could work on it, but she's got all the duties to do, and if the mayor permitted her, she could work on it and produce some of it. Well, the 4th came, I came up 3 days later, and Ms. Brown refused to give me any information. I paid for it, paid for a big portion of it, $230-something, and then I have only gotten 3 of the 17 items.
Where were you told to pick up those things?
According to the open records, I'm supposed to pick them up with the people of the records, and according to the open records request, after I read the document, the keeper of the records for Gordon, Georgia is the city clerk, and that's where I was going to pick them up. Now, she was saying I needed to contact Attorney Boone. I told her no, that she was the keeper of the records, and that's where I would be receiving them from Gordon. Now, if she wanted to go to Irvington and pick them up, if they were over there, then if they were being kept in Irvington, then I needed to notify the State Department that the records are not kept here, that they're kept in Irvington. And if I had to get them from Irvington, she needed to go get them and bring them here, because I was told to pick them up at the City Hall and go.
See, I have a problem with having those document requests to be picked up in Irvington. I don't know why they're not picked up at City Hall. I don't understand. In Irvington, does that mean it's your office? Are you receiving these? Are you receiving these things?
Well, with all due respect, sir, as she's already pointed out, she has made this a subject of an open investigation by the Attorney General's office. It is an open investigation now. We are answering it to the Attorney General's office. So I'm not going to comment on an open investigation by the Attorney General's office.
Well, that's fair enough. But I think that if somebody asks an open records request, the documents should come from the City Hall, not from anywhere else. Because I want to see the documents straight from the source without anybody else having their hands on them. Okay? That's all I have to say. Unless you have any more questions for me, because I'm here to answer any question that you have, so you can vote yes or no on my audit. Or excuse me, my engagement letter, I should say. I'm asking, does anybody else have any more questions for me? Because I'm willing to answer anything related to my engagement.
Thank you, Mr. Best.
Thank you. Next. Council, I will now ask for a motion to approve Mr. Baskett's engagement letter.
I make the motion to approve Mr. Baskett's engagement letter.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions?
Where is he gonna start from now? What is he gonna do now?
Go ahead.
What is he going to do now, Mr. Baskin?
Am I asking enough question?
What's your next move? Where are you going from here? If you are approved for the audit.
I would come down here and pick up where I left off, start doing the investigation, start pursuing these items that I've requested, looking at them, tracing these transactions through. Doing the other things I have, I don't give you my audit plan totally, but there's other things I want to look at. Some going into funds and different things to find out, look at the money and who the money's being paid to. Okay, that's an audit.
All of your existing invoices you feel illegal and everything now. All of your existing invoices, you feel they are legal now.
Well, I think so.
That's my question. I mean, we're operating illegally up to this point, so I didn't know how we would back up on all of that. That's my question.
And I apologize for not knowing more about procedures of the city of Gordon. Okay, I just was brought in to do an audit. I started my audit, and next thing you knew, everything just blew up on me. And I was just trying to do my job. You know, I didn't want to offend anybody. I didn't want to exclude anybody. But there's certain things I can't tell everybody when you're doing an audit. A forensic audit is not the same as an annual audit. When Bright Right come in here, they do a financial audit, and that's to state that the financial statements fairly represent the financial condition of the city. Okay, but they don't do the kind of things. They don't look at the kind of things that I look at, in the detail that I look at it. I look for the weak areas and then focus on those to see if there's anything going on. I'm not going to do what Right does. It's nowhere near the same thing. And what they do is what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying anything about their job, because they are supposed to do a financial audit, and that's what they've been doing. But they're again, like I said, they don't do what I do, and I don't do what they do. It's two separate things. And what I do is not something that you want to do every year. It's something that you do periodically. Maybe, like the mayor said, as she comes in, you get a new administration, she wants to make sure everything is fine. Okay? And it's not a bad idea to do that every 4 or 5 years, or however often you get a new mayor.
Can I ask a question, man?
Sure.
I know since I've been on council, we've never had a forensic audit, just a regular audit. Has there ever been a forensic audit for this city that you all know of?
Not since I've been on council. There was some money went missing, just as Mr. Basket said, 33 or 4 or 5 years ago, when some cash got missing, and they caught the person that did it and everything, and whether they did a forensic audit then was before my time.
I mean, I did read in the paper, in the Telegraph, the plaintiff attorney representing the concerned citizens of Gordon, he was quoted as saying that the city of Gordon has a forensic audit done every year. That was
forensic.
But that's. I'm just saying. What I don't know. I wasn't there to hear it. That was what was printed in the paper. And when I read that, I said, "There's no way the city has a forensic audit done. They have a financial audit done every year, and you're supposed to. You're obligated to have a financial audit every year, and so you've got to.
We got clean governmental audits, from the state for the last 30, 40 years. Gatsby, I guess you're familiar with all the different Georgia, laws that you go by for audits. You have to meet all the standards that they put out there. We've met every one of them every year to get a clean audit. I've got a copy of the whole, for the last 10 years.
There's one thing, I guess it probably gives time to read this. This is your financial audit from last year, okay? And some of the comments that are made by your financial audit by Right. And probably, I've well said, and it is true. I'll read it to you. It says, a deficiency in internal controls exists when the design or operation of the control does not allow management or employees in the normal course of performing their assigned functions to prevent or detect and correct misstatements on a timely manner. Material weaknesses, deficiency, or a combination of deficiencies in internal control, such that there is a reasonable defect, possibility that a material misstatement of the entity's financial statement will be prevented or detected and corrected on a timely basis. And with this, it's not what I want. That's just. Our consideration for the internal control is for the limited purpose described in the first paragraph of this section. It was not designed to identify all deficiencies in the internal control that might be material weakness or significant deficiencies. Given these limitations, during our audit, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be material weaknesses. However, material weaknesses may exist that have not been identified.
That's a standard statement
I
we
know.
all put in there.
That's
You
right.
an auditor, you would do something the same thing.
But they did say down here, accordingly, we do not express an opinion on the effectiveness of the city of control, Gordon's internal control. Basically, they are not really happy with internal control, and you can't have good internal controls in a situation where you have one person doing all the functions. That in itself will have poor internal controls. Now, you have a small office, so there's really a lot of, it's difficult what you can do about it. But it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get somebody in there to help out. So you can divide the functions a little bit. What's that? So
Two of us in there.
well,
That's why I set it that way. She doesn't do everything that I do. That's the reason why.
there's not enough. There's not enough internal control. I promise you.
If I could add one point, I think Councilman Eady does make an interesting point that if the audit were to be approved, it needs to be approved retroactively to when it was signed, the contract of engagement letter was signed in February. That way it can be paid from the time you start. So if the amendment could be, motion could be amended to add that it be retroactive to the date we started back in February, that would allow for payment for all of things that he's already done. I don't know if somebody wants to make that motion, but it could be amended. The motion is on the table to allow that it be retroactive to February 19, 2014, when the engagement letter was signed.
Attorney General, I hope that motion that we make it retroactive. Mr. Basket Ed worked, he worked hard, and he's done a good job the way he could work. He's done the work, and we need to be responsible people and pay him like we need to pay all bills to people that have rendered service for and to this city. So I make that motion that it be retroactive.
I'm a taxpayer, and I have a problem.
Excuse me.
Excuse
You
me,
will have to
I have a
share.
problem.
You will have to sit down. Control.
We're the citizens and the taxpayers.
We will get to you. Just be quiet, please. I'm being nice. Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Let's hear clerk call the roll.
Ms. Whipple?
I vote
Smallwood?
No.
Ms.
No.
Reed?
No.
Mr. Reese?
Yes.
Mayor?
Motion failed. Next item is to discuss the issue of the check to pay Middle Georgia electric. Keith Roberts. Mr. Roberts, are you here?
Pardon me, why is that on here again?
I have a question.
We voted 5
Right.
of the council.
Let
and
me make I will pass something on to you just a minute, Councilman. Just give me a minute, I'll let you see. I told you, July 21st, she said she
Small
told
one, sign
the
it.
recording. Just let him look at the thing one time. But see, July 15th, she signed those, and she said she was so why did she didn't approve it. And so here, the same check, it's two signatures. The only three people who signed is us, at least two people. So then, if that's the case, that check there. Why would you do that before, at that time, I was not in the seat, but she came afterwards to. Would you take a look at that count? I don't want to make that in public. That same check could have been presented that night. Are you looking at the date?
Yes, I'm looking at the whole check. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
exactly.
Right.
All right, flip back. That's whose signature is on that count?
Check or
Not the check. The date.
Yeah.
Look at the date, July 21st.
July 21st.
That
it
check
says
is already
Warner
written.
Brown and Tommy Smallwood.
Okay, go to, off the same check. If we could sign it then, why was not that check presented?
Her signature is not a legal signature on the squash. So her signature is not any good on it, even though if her name's on it, it doesn't make any difference. You, Ms. Toll, and Mr. Smallwood are the only three that
just want
can
to bring
sign.
that
Yes,
up.
ma'am, sorry. But if you sign this check, it's legal right now. We've already made the motion to do that.
Exactly,
Yes, ma'am.
exactly. So
So
no problem, I just wanted.
Mr. Roberts is expecting you to sign the
Mr.
check
Roberts,
and give it to him.
we've already discussed it. I just asked him, I told him, based on what has been written, ordered by the judge, I don't want this kind of money to go out without council being aware. Are y'all aware of that, council? I do nothing.
I thought we had said that we would not authorize any checks to leave City Hall without the signature of the treasurer.
Exactly.
Now, her name has to be on that.
Exactly.
One other person. But now, if y'all both sign it, and she don't sign it, you in violation of the charter. Because the charter says every check is to be signed by the city treasurer and the clerk.
Exactly.
Mr. Warner holds that position.
Exactly.
Now, there's nothing wrong with signing with her,
Right,
but you two don't need to sign a check without her signature.
exactly.
But she's not on the account, though, you know.
But I'm not on
We
the-
said
she
that-
didn't need to sign.
I don't remember the accounts changing, I remember those statements were made and nothing changed.
I was taken off.
Stop. I mean, that just stands to reason. She needs to be, the clerk
Right,
needs
you
to
need
get.
to. We don't
I
have a
was
problem.
with y'all. Y'all went down there that day and you see the signatures that we put on them. I mean, they was all done on the same day. Every one of them. I understand.
Right, they've been changed, we don't know what's what. So, we don't have a problem with Pam, like you said, but the clerk is the treasurer of the, I would, there's noise coming from the front, and I need to concentrate. So, council, are y'all with me?
Yes, ma'am, if you don't know what to sign.
Are we in agreement that the treasurer needs to be on this check? What was that, council? You might want to.
I said we had this in one of the, council meetings, that the clerk, needs to be on all of it.
I've written the check both ways, and neither way has it been signed. I've tried everything I can do to get that check
So
signed.
y'all had a check.
My name was on it, she wouldn't sign it, and I
No, I
so I
wasn't.
voided it out, and hopes that she would sign it, and still not sign. But I've done everything that I can possibly do to get that check signed, Mr. Keegan.
We will go ahead and pay him, but you put your signature right here, be in agreement to go ahead and
Okay,
pay
but someone's gonna have to sign besides me and Mr. Smallwood, because I am not on the signature card at the bank, but I will gladly put my name on here again.
Right, go ahead.
But unless
That's the
one
only
of the other
account
can
that
sign
We'll
it,
sign.
Those are the only three that can sign.
We'll pay him. We'll be. Mr. Roberts, you can come up and get your check.
Let me ask you something, that money's coming out of spot. What we keep writing these law checks, Mr. Law? Maybe we should, what are we paying him for?
Well, he's got a generator out there tonight. I think y'all need to stop and look out there. Mr. Roberts is gonna come up and explain. That's why I have him on the, just let him. Go ahead.
I mean, it's for a contract that was dated back in March the 7th. Mayor signed, the city council approved the bid to a contract for $132,000 something. The contract, we made pay requests. We didn't get the first three. It turned into a problem. We finally got it. We got the second one, Ms. Cole signed and Mr. Smallwood signed. Now the third one I've been through since July and I haven't got paid.
Is this the last check,
This
sir?
is the final payment.
Okay.
Well, let me say this, Dick, that before I was suspended, did you not get a $50,000+ check and you were supposed to return it? I've never received that $16,000 yet. I've asked her, but I've asked the clerk, she has not presented it. So could I possibly get it tomorrow?
If I can find it, I can report it. I'll be glad to. I've got it.
Okay.
She's got it.
Now, would you elaborate a little bit, just a little, because they are new, as myself, and explain in detail what that generator is. Everybody's satisfied.
I need a copy of this check before it's given to him. I have to keep a copy of all the signed squash checks. So if somebody would go somewhere and make a copy of it for me, I appreciate it. I will.
Thank you. You can, is Mr.
Can I get a deputy to go?
G.
Couple of questions for Mr. Robert Lee, if I might ask him, you still have got to come and train our guys on that, hooking it up and show them how to run it, make sure it's run and crank up, and we've got installed a heater at the police department for that. Warmer.
It's just the outlet. It's just the outlet or drop forward, though.
Okay.
Who would be the person to be trained?
Melvin and Zach, or any of them, Melvin, out there that work with the water and sewer stuff.
Okay.
But I got the generator and I'm gonna carry it to the police department.
Did y'all want to see the generator?
Turn it over to
He's got it outside. Council, did y'all, Council Reese?
We'll see if we can.
Okay. Are you gonna be here till the meeting's over? Y'all might better take a recess. Did y'all need to look at it?
It'll be at the police department.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
The backup, power goes out.
One more question, Keith. The big cable, it didn't have a plug in, you're gonna have to wire it up?
The startup guy that comes down to train y'all, he's gonna put it on, I already thought it. Actually, I had the startup set up for 26, but I counted, so I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Okay.
Mr. Roberts, let me ask you a question. Would that be too much? When you come back to train them, that you could get some of the newly elected council members to see this and see how it works? Or what have you?
I told Spence today, that if everything went through tonight, I was gonna call Caterpillar tomorrow. That's who's gonna do the startup. Set that up with them whenever they can get it on their schedule, just as soon as they can get it on their schedule. I'll let Spence know, and he can send y'all emails of what day and what time it'll be. I mean, we'll start at the police station for a demonstration of how to run it. And we'll probably just go to one or two lift stations and show you how to exercise it.
You gonna have to go to all of them to check the rotation or not?
No.
Okay.
We just use a phase rotation here. It's either
Just
clockwise
one
or
time, that's
counterclockwise.
it.
Is there a listing of the lift station? Because I don't know what a lift and a drop is.
Yes, ma'am. I know where they're going.
I'd like, I said there, listing of where the stations are.
You've got this, there's a map in the back that shows each location and the street address. It's in the very back.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
All right. line of business. Our next order of business is new business, and we're going to discuss the maturity of the CD. And Mr. Reese, would you, I find
We
that
talked
clear.
to Ms. Julie Scarborough with Morris Bank, Ms. Scarborough, let us know that CD matured last Thursday. It was a $2 million CD. The current value of that CD is $2,131,000 plus dollars. Now, our option is, what are we going to do with this CD? Are we going to roll? Are we going to move the actual $2 million, keep the interest, get some of these bills paid that the city owes? Or are we going to roll the whole amount? And if we are going to roll, where are we going to roll to? I got a call in to Ms. Ballard with the Georgia Fund 1 because I think we do better handling our money through Georgia Fund 1. I need to talk to Ms. Ballard to see what the interest rate is and what's going on right now. So hopefully I'll be able to get back in touch with her tomorrow. But my suggestion would be to take the interest facing bills and put the $2 million back in Georgia Fund. That's just me. Well, we can discuss it. I mean, I want to see how everybody else feels.
That's what we got.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I have got some information just like Mr. Reese did. I tried to keep up with it because I knew it was fixing to mature. And there's certain things that you have to do through the bank now if you're going to, say, roll it over. The name has to be changed on that CD. It's in the name of the previous mayor, Kenneth Turner. He was the one that signed it into the bank at the time. It cannot automatically be rolled over, you know, without a resolution to change that. And if you want to move it into the One Georgia Fund, as of Wednesday of this week, Wednesday is the last day you can make a decision to keep it in the Gordon Bank. If you're going to keep it there, you have to have resolution to change the name and put the $2 million in, and a resolution to take the $131,000 out. So I was kind of being proactive, you know, with that information, you know. But put it into One Georgia Fund, all we would have to do is wait for Wednesday and the Gordon Bank, say Thursday, probably they would have to write you a check for the full amount, you know, take it out of that CD. It had to be cashed in, you know, and then put it into One Georgia Fund. But I'm in agreement with Mr. Reese. I think we need to take the $2 million and put it back into One Georgia Fund, and then take the $131,000 and put into the general fund because we do not have enough money to cover our payroll coming up this Thursday. So, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
I've checked before I left. All we have in general fund right now is $1,247, and we've got stacks of invoices need to be paid now, plus September payroll.
Payroll and bill is really important. That would be my recommendation too. Tommy, everybody else, what they want.
Let me say this, discussion too, being that it is in the previous mayor's name. So what, now I had a discussion with Ms. Ballard too about this, and being that you're the one that's, only the one that's authorized, Councilman Reese, am I right?
That's what I was told about her.
You're the only one that can make those changes. And so being that I'm the new mayor, we've got to find that procedure as to what we need to do to get previous mayor's name off with mine on. Pardon? Resolution. So, go ahead and, how do we get through
If
it?
that's the case, everybody's in agreement, then we want to go ahead and consent tonight to get a resolution so that we can get the transfer of the funds.
Right.
That's all.
Certainly. I think, yeah, I mean, Wednesday is pretty much the deadline. You only got a week when it matures, but it roll over, and it won't roll over automatic this year because of that name change.
So, any other further discussion? Should I see a hand, Councilman?
So then we get something to say.
Did y'all have anything to say? So, can I entertain a motion that we go ahead and do a resolution?
I offer a motion, Mayor, that we do the resolution, that the plans are to keep the interest on the money, to pay city bills, and to transfer $2 million back to the Georgia Fund.
Motion has been made and seconded. Discussion.
Only thing we'll need to do is, the extra name to put on the One Georgia Fund when it is set up. I know Mr. Reese and Ms. Brown right now, so we have to, include those in whatever you decide to do, just a recommendation. We can handle that probably separate from this, I don't know. But I'm in agreement to do it.
All in favor? Roll call, clerk.
Smallwood.
Aye.
And Mr. Reese.
It's like the time, by the way, I think Mr. Green and them may have a resolution that's fairly close, they may be able to write one up, you know, so that we could, you know, actually have to adopt that resolution and sign all the council, we would make it legal, you know, before Wednesday.
I don't have a problem, but, you know, what about you?
Well, he can, I don't know.
Attorney Jones.
I can draw it up, and if you can't, pay it tonight.
Do you have one, Attorney Boone?
Yes, ma'am, we got one, but y'all, motion was a little different from the one we had prepared to just cash out the CD. Yeah. This is to renew it and leave it at the bank, not transfer
She
it.
has, go ahead.
The one I have is a Georgia Fund 1 resolution that they require, the Georgia 1 Fund. I've had this come up several times.
So you have the.
But this is to change the signature cards and everything on the Georgia Fund 1 account we've already got. Y'all, because y'all had mentioned adding some new names to it.
You gotta get the CD out before it goes
Exactly.
to Georgia 1 for them.
So you have that.
This is the only one that I've got.
Excuse me?
This is the only one that I have from the Georgia Fund.
No, this was just to,
Renew it, I think.
Could you, look at that, give it to Councilman Reese, and let us look at it, please?
Well, we don't want to step on Mr. Jones' toes if he's already got this prepared, been talking to the bank about this $2 million CD.
I mean, I don't have one prepared, I can prepare one, but I don't have one prepared now. If they want one prepared tonight to sign, you have
They don't
something.
have to, they got $2 million check they can cash.
I mean, if they want to, I can maybe hand grab something. But I don't have
I
one.
think we can probably modify this one.
Well, I don't know about doing it with Georgia 1 Fund would be my only concern. When talking to the bank, this thing, like Mr. Eady, I think Mr. Reese also said, is already expired and it's going to be cashed out on Wednesday. Right? That's $2 million you got to put somewhere. It's not going to be insured up more than $100,000 if you just stick it in the bank account somewhere, which is why you got to put it back in the Georgia Fund 1 or a CD or something like that. So the idea was because of the immediacy to renew the CD, authorize renewing the CD, transferring the interest to the general fund so that the bills can continue to get paid. And there's 3 resolutions, another one for SPLOST, which I haven't come up with. I'll do that some of the time too. We could change it, and I've got some blank resolution forms in case the council decide they want to do something different. To put it in the Georgia Fund 1, I just don't know. I'm not familiar with if you don't already have the Fund 1 account set up ready to receive the money.
Pass that down, please.
Isn't that what you got, Juana?
Let me show. This is the one, the Georgia Fund 1 that says it. Anytime we need to make any changes.